So if we could just start by giving us a little rundown of your background and how you got into trading.
Background, right. So I'm a farmer, like I sort of said.
Yeah.
So trading's not really in our industry.
Yeah.
But it was COVID, during the COVID sort of pandemic. I had a bit of savings and I was sort of thinking, right, what can I do with this? So started looking at like ISAs, like stocks and shares ISAs and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can earn 8% a year on like these stocks and shares ISAs. I was like, that's crazy. So I was like getting the compound. I don't know if you've seen the compound calculator.
Yeah.
If
Yeah. Yeah.
online. So I was
Yeah.
like thinking, if I
Trust
can
me.
save this much money and I can get
Yeah.
8% return, I was like, I can get £1 million by the time I'm like
Yeah.
50. So
Literally.
I was like, well, I got into that and it sort of clicked. And I was like, oh, you can do something here. And again, like COVID, sort of the markets crashed. So I started buying some sort of stocks, like airlines, cruise ships, and things like that.
Yeah.
Tesla, I think I made about 400% on Tesla. So I
Jeez.
was like, I was like, okay, this
Very
is easy.
nice. This is
So
it. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. I sort of just, the market crashed. I was like, oh, I'll buy some stuff. So I had a dabble, like trading 212 sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what it was, but then I started watching YouTube videos on like Forex and how to like manually trade Forex. But again, with my job, I just haven't got the time to be on the charts and that sort of thing. And so I don't know where I saw it, but I saw someone like playing with like an EA. It was on YouTube, like a video, and I was like, what? So something can trade for you without having to like be there. So I was like, that's crazy. And so I started looking into EAs, and luckily, POW popped up. I think it was Instagram or something. POW was one of the first EAs I actually saw, so I wasn't like messing around with a load of crap ones. I sort of
Yeah.
POW was POW and another one. I think it was like FX Core Gold.
Done well.
So those two. So luckily, POW was one of the first EAs I sort of got into, and sort of didn't look back then. Obviously, I can sort of run it without having to. I could do it with my full-time job. I'm working sort of 10-hour days and I can still be trading.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
it's
the
great.
attraction of obviously PAL. Like everyone that I've spoken to on these calls has said the same thing. Like
Yeah,
being able to do a 9 to 5 job and
yeah,
trade is
yeah,
like pretty much
yeah,
impossible. Like
yeah.
to make good decisions, etc. Whereas PAL, because it's fully automated and we can do the back test,
Mm,
etc., it makes it
yeah,
possible. But before
yeah.
you let's say before you discovered PAL, was there 3 things that you were struggling with the most, would you say, when it comes to trading? Like what would be three
Before
you struggle?
so the main struggle was like sort of being sort of frustrated
With?
that I couldn't be with not being able to be on the charts all the time. So if I was obviously at work, I
Yeah.
like check my phone and then, oh crap, I've just missed it. Or
Yeah.
obviously you can set alerts up, but again, when you're farming, you can't just be on your phone all the time.
Yeah.
That was a main frustration. Again, time. So like when I'd be having a bit of time off, like even like breakfast break or lunch break, I'd
Yeah.
be like right straight on it. Like so, my time off work would be full of just trying to catch it with trading. It was just
Hmm.
time consuming, mentally straining a bit as well.
Yep.
They're the main things. That's why when I saw POW, I was like, it's a bit of a no brainer. It almost sounded too good to be true. I was like, surely not.
Yeah. It's
But
what
yeah, no,
everyone
that
does.
was it really.
Yeah. So a
They're the
little bit of
main
psychology in there as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, my psychology wasn't too bad because I was listening to, I don't know if you've heard, it's called Desire to Trade podcast.
Right.
It's a really good podcast actually. They sort of talk to loads of different traders about their like history and like good traders about where they started, a bit like this, where they started, like how they're doing now. And it was all about they were sort of saying like how mindset and psychology is like the main thing, and about like running demo accounts. So I sort of went into it with a good sort of background as to sort of okay, sort of
What to
don't rush
expect.
into it. I was a bit grounded, so I did sort of have an idea.
Yeah.
But I do recommend like listening to that. If
Yeah.
anyone's listening, like Desire to Trade podcasters, no, really good. I think they're still doing podcasts now. But I used
Dope.
to hours and hours of. I just found it really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Have
so
a look. Yeah.
psychology wasn't too bad a thing, but it was obviously you can listen to so much stuff, but it's only when you get into it
Yeah.
that you think, okay, I got this, and then you start trading, and you're like,
And
crap.
then brought back to reality. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like if you hadn't have found Powell, you hadn't been trading with Powell, nothing had changed. Like
Yeah,
where do you think you would currently be with your trading?
I probably wouldn't be trading now, probably. I'd probably, I would have packed it in probably. I might have
Everyone
been
said
trading
that.
a small account as a hobby sort of thing, like
Yeah,
£1,000 maybe as a hobby and to see how it goes. But
you don't
I would
think
have
in
probably
the
just been
industry.
no, not properly. I would have been sort of just putting some savings into like at the start, like stocks
Yeah,
and shares ISAs. I'm still doing definitely. I definitely still need to do that.
yeah,
I advise other people to definitely put it in like a
yeah,
safer investment long term, and then put a certain amount into like trading accounts and stuff. Don't put it all
yeah,
into trading accounts because run your risk. So I'm
yeah.
still putting money into that sort of thing. But no, I definitely wouldn't be trading like prop firms and
And then how do you
uh,
think that would have affected you, like personally? Would have it had a negative impact on you?
yeah, probably. Yeah, I would have probably been a bit disheartened because when you first start trading, you think, "Oh, I'm going to make loads of money. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm
Yeah,
going to make it." And then it's sort of you start getting the realization like, "Oh, this is a bit harder than you think." And then
yeah, yeah.
so I probably would have packed it in and been like, "Oh well,
It
that's
would
it."
affect your
But
confidence and your
yeah,
mindset a
yeah,
bit.
yeah, 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 and it would have been harder to like get back into it if I wanted to.
Yeah,
Whereas I sort of found power at the right time,
yeah.
and it kept it going, really kept the ball rolling.
Good, good,
And
good.
as
And
I
then
say, I've had a bad run recently, but I mean, I'm in the mindset now that it's all part of the process.
yeah,
You can have ups and downs, and I sort of looking ahead, I sort of see a good sort of good future with it.
love that. So whilst being inside POW, if we were to touch on three products you've used, I know we spoke before the call about how you're using Red Alert. I'm guessing
Yeah,
you Banker EA as well. Did
yeah.
you use
So
Edge at
just
all,
those two really.
or
No, I've never used Edge. I've never really had, and I've always said, "Oh, I'll get stuck into it," but
yeah,
all my time's been consumed with like back testing banker, and it takes enough of my time, and I've had success with it. So I didn't want to sort of start diversifying with
yeah?
Edge and then sort of affect my results with banker. So I've stuck with banker.
And then what
Obviously, that
sort of
was
results have you seen with Banker EA?
yeah, good
In
mainly.
terms of how many funded accounts do you have? What prop firms have you managed to get funded with? How much
Yeah,
capital are you trading?
yeah.
And your payout.
So
Talk about your
God,
payout.
it's been a hell of a roller coaster. Nah, so currently I'm trading £100,000 account with the funded trader.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
because I had maxed out at first class Forex funds. Obviously they've gone down the pan.
Yeah, let's
So
not speak
I
about
was maxed out with
those.
them. I had this one. I had three my Forex funds accounts.
Nice.
And my partner had a my Forex funds account, so I was managing, and I had blue Forex funds. Again, that was another
Nice.
fab. So at one point, I could have been managing like close to like 2 million,
Oof.
but yeah. But then obviously half of that's with crappy firms, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
So with the micro
so
funds accounts, did you get
yeah,
payouts from them?
yeah. So they were my main. They were my main source of payouts basically. I got VIP on two of them, I think. So there was a stage I was every day I was like withdrawing about 700 quid to £1,000 like for about a week going. I was like, bloody hell, this is too good to be true.
That's insane.
And it was. But I mean, so I've lost them now, but I had them for about a year, I think, which isn't bad running. I don't think. I think I really did make the most of them.
Yep.
But it was the turn of the year that I really sort of just struggled to find. I think a lot of people did struggle to find some like consistencies in the market.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was like back testing for like months, and then it looked good, and then you'd go live, and it would just completely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they sort of slowly ran down. So I lost
How
them,
much
unfortunately.
in terms of your payouts? Like, I know we spoke before the
Mhm.
call, but just for the
Yeah,
video sake, like how much altogether would you say you've
altogether payouts was about 50 grand from I started my first payout was December 21, I think. What we now? Yeah, December 21 was my first payout. So I had a really really good December to December.
very nice, man.
Um
Very nice. Unbelievable.
yeah. And
Inspiring.
obviously it's dried up now, but like I say, you got to take advantage when strike when the iron's hot, right? And
And
I
then
did. So yeah.
that's great stuff, man. So that's Banker EA. What's
Yeah.
your experience so far with using Red Alert?
Red Alert, I'm enjoying it. It's a simpler EA to use.
Yeah.
So what I like about it is the sort of the back testing. You can like if there's a news event, you can back test, and within a couple of minutes, you could have a whole sort of a set for one currency,
Yeah.
and you can like, so in the mornings I'd be testing for the news coming in the afternoon, and you can rack a few sets up in no time. So it's like the speed of it, and I don't, I mean, the results are sort of
so far.
showing. Yeah, the results. I mean, I'm having success with it. I've been running it on demo for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
Just to get my confidence. Obviously, I've got my one account, so I want to look after it.
Yeah. You've got to treat it like a baby, man.
Yeah. I've got an FTMO account challenge lined up. I bought this months ago, but I've just not. I've been married. I've just got married and been on a honeymoon in the last few months.
Mate.
Cheers, mate. And so everything's been a bit hectic. So I'm just I'm finding my bearings. So the last few months I've been a bit off it, but now I'm sort of getting stuck in. I'm enjoying it as well. I'm enjoying it more as well.
To be honest, you need them breaks. Like, I think when you're just trading all the time, like that's when you start making bad decisions.
Yeah.
It
was quite a good time because I was getting a bit stressed. Like I'd lost my account, and then that stepped away from it. Obviously busy with the wedding and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've come back to it now, and I'm in. It's weird to say, but I think almost losing those accounts is like the best thing that could have happened, because I'm sort of in the mindset now, like, okay, you're gonna have your losses, but if you can get through that, it's like part of the process, and then build from that. And I'm probably in a good.
Like what that does for you personally as well. Like,
you
say that that's had an effect on your personal life going through
definitely
successes
like
and these challenges,
general moods and stuff. Like even when I had all the accounts running, I was like quite stressed, like there's so much going on, and I was sort of mind was off my current job. Whereas now I'm like loving my current job, I'm loving my trading, enjoying it more, and taking it sort of slow and steady, and just enjoying the process. And obviously I got my wins last year, so it's not like I'm massively in the red and I'm like getting frustrated. I'm like, take your wins when you can and accept your losses, and it's just part of the process, and you just gotta get used to that. And once you accept that, it's like it's fine. It's like I always used to check my MT5 and constantly be looking at that. Whereas now I'm I look at it a couple of times a day. What will be. Like, you've done the back tests, there's nothing you can do about it. So
there we go.
Let
the thing about what you just said is that you love your current job, love your trading, and that's a direct correlation. If you hate one of them, then it's probably got a negative impact on the other thing.
Oh, definitely. To add to that, like if you hate your job, you're almost going to put more. I'm not saying you can't trade while hating your job, but I'm just saying you're going to put too much pressure on your trading. 100%. So if you're thinking it's like rushing to quit your job to trade is a high risk move. I know. Like Darren's said, you can make it work, but I just think you just don't know. I think your best trading is when you have that security of income coming behind you, and you're not relying solely on your trading income. Because then if shit hits the fan, like if firm goes out or whatever, even if you have a few firms and you have a bad run, because normally your bad runs, you can diversify your sets, but normally your bad runs come at the same time because it's the markets that are moving and all the sets are sort of correlated. But I think if you've got a bit of a solid background, and then you can build your trading from there. That's what I found personally.
You're absolutely spot on, mate, because I found the same thing. Like if you're putting so much pressure on your trading, that's when you start making bad decisions.
You start forcing it, don't you?
You're starting to force it, trying to chase it, and then you get hurt, and then you're like, yes, I'm gonna put it together, and who knows what happens.
I know. Yeah, that's what I found works, and I'm having success with it now. So I'm enjoying my trading. I'm enjoying my personal life as well. So.
If you were to give new members or anyone that's on the fence about joining POW, if you were to give them 3 pieces of advice, what would it be?
3 pieces of advice. Right. Okay. So if you've already joined POW, I'd advise you to take your time with it. Don't do the mistake that I did and rushed into buying 200k accounts. And again, it's that pressure thing. Like, if you got to buy accounts relative to how much savings you have. Like, say I should have started with 10k accounts, sort of lost some, and then been like, okay. Whereas if you buy a 200k account and you lose it, or you fail it, you're sort of like, God, that was a grand down the drain. So start slow. I know it's like you're keen to get those 200k account and get 10% a month on it, just go steady, watch
time.
all the content, like over and over. YouTube, Instagram, it's all out there. You just got to go through it. So for those people I've already joined, yeah, take your time and start slowly. It's like I say, it's a process, so don't rush. And if you're on the fence, it's probably the best you're going to get in terms of like trading. Like in terms of community to join, you're not really going to get much better than POW, to be honest. What I liked is that you weren't sort of sold a dream. There's so much crap you see on like YouTube and stuff, like you're going to make millions and stuff. Whereas I saw Darren and he was like, okay, you can make your 2 to 3% a month, and you're going to have your losses. And I was like, okay, this, it makes more sense. So for those people on the fence, it's the real deal, basically.
Yeah.
And the cost, I don't know. I've joined ages ago, so I pay a different rate. I don't know, but I think the cost relative to what you get is amazing. Like there's so many courses out there where people pay thousands for absolute garbage. Whereas like the content in POW and the support as well is second to none, really. So yeah.
The actual community aspect of POW, I think, is the strongest point.
Yeah.
Just like the people that are there to help, not just like us, like in the support channels, but inside the chats and the numbers, etc. Like it's a proper community.
And it's like good people as well. I mean, you can get some. I've seen some groups where people are just like idiots, whereas there's a good like community there where people are sort of switched on, heads in the right space. But yeah, no, that's a big thing as well. Like if you've got an issue, just put it in the chat. 9 times out of 10 is sorted, or raise a ticket. But again, all the content's out there. So most of the time you shouldn't really need to anyway. But yeah,
great stuff, mate. Great stuff. Basically, that was brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Mate.
Yeah, it's inspiring to hear your journey, man. You've made some big payouts. Like I remember seeing you posting your payouts in the funded trader chat, and I was like, "What?" Like,
they just kept coming. I was like,
it's like 16K on one, and then like another thing. I think I remember that. Was that you?
Yeah, no, it was a crazy few months. It was that year. It was just mad. So like I said, I just took advantage of it. Like the markets were rolling. I was finding some good sets, and they were paying out. So I was like, let's keep it going. And obviously it hit a rough patch, but now I'm like back. I'm in a good space, and I've got my 100K. I've got a challenge coming up, and I'm still young. Got a future to build there.
Well, best of luck for your FDMO challenge. And
cheers, mate.
I look forward to seeing you post your results inside the group, and I'll let you crack on with the rest of your day, man.
Lovely. If you need anything else, just give us a shout. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good man.